What's up, 1851 world? I'm Nick Powills, back at it this week, giving you the news in franchising just the way you like it. That was cheesy. Whatever. We're going to get going and talk about what's going on 1851. This week I'm going to use technology versus my giant piece of paper. Hopefully that will make this look a little bit more innovative than last week, so I apologize for the giant 11 by 17. But here we go. So this week, Young Ones to Watch is back, and this has been one of the big highlights of our publication over the last few years. It seems that everybody gets really jazzed up about this. In year one, we actually ranked everybody, and in first place was Sean Fitzgerald, who has since joined 1851. I guess things happen for a reason. And then we decided to eliminate the ranking because rankings are kind of garbage when it comes to Young Ones to Watch, because what is the real reason we're ranking? And maybe there's politics or some sort of fake data that goes behind it, but there was not a lot of value behind it. So we decided now we're just going to list out those that are making a difference. What I love so much about this year versus in previous years is that it seems like the industry as a whole, the franchise industry as a whole, is embracing the next wave. And who is this next entrepreneur? Who are these next leaders? Who are these next suppliers that could be making a difference? And I love seeing all these up and coming brands getting some notice. Obviously, a very big category in franchising right now is the emerging brand. And there's conferences and there's categories. There's some great suppliers who focus directly on the emerging franchisor. So the whole idea of youth seems to be very, very popular. This week we put Young Ones to Watch as a general feature, and there's many people in there, and I'll read you some highlights. Matt Haller, who's with the International Franchise Association, has quickly moved up the ranks. I would imagine that his peers within IFA see him as a leader. I certainly do from an outsider. He's sharp, he understands franchising, he understands the politics behind it, he understands how to lobby for things that are important to the franchise industry. I've seen him move up very quickly. Obviously, when someone's moving up within an organization, it's vital to find ways to keep them engaged, keep them excited about the brand, and keep them within the company. I think IFA's done a very nice job, and Robert Crescente is definitely inspiring Matt in a very good way. Stephen and Jason Parker from K9 Resorts, they're on our list this year. They were actually just recently acquired, or a portion of their company was recently acquired by a private equity firm. I love that private equity firms are starting to take notice on the young and up-and-comers, those that seemingly can bust through a brick wall that jumps in front of them, that they're this fearless entrepreneur, that maybe it's because we haven't had enough experience in life to understand that something's bad when it comes in front of us. But Jason and Steven have done a great job at saying, you know what, every single obstacle that hits us as a brand leader, we're going to bust through it. I love that story. And again, there's many on here. Randy Shaka with Two Men in a Truck. He is a president of their brand. Very young. He actually started as a mover and moved his way all the way up the chain. His story is great. Scott Thompson with Premium Franchise Brands. Scott's been on every side of franchisee to supplier. He was at Fran Connect for a while, and now he's leading franchise sales for an organization. Jennifer Kuchel, who we featured on the cover of 1851 a few months ago. David Wells with Sport Clips, fresh face to the industry, making waves. Joe Johnson, who's our cover this month with Wireless Tone, fantastic story. He moved up the ranks through various organizations to now be a CEO of a fairly notable brand. Kat Cole, who's a standard. So we have all these great people that are within the list. I encourage you to read this story. It's had a significant amount of traffic, over 700 shares right now through the social universe. So be sure to read that. But again, what I love about this month's issue, or this issue, is that young people are starting to get noticed in franchising, whether it's Next Gen, which was an awesome feature at the IFA convention, or those within leadership. The next wave is starting to get noticed. That, yes, experience is vital to the success that you will have within an organization, or the perception that people will have of you from the outside. But this youth movement is being embraced. The other thing, and you see the content on our site on the millennial and what they're going to mean for franchising, and how brands are starting to adapt their process to the way that they approach this candidate. It's awesome. That means we're all thinking about how do we create an environment that's not just conducive to the Old Boy network, but the entire network as a whole, and how do we encourage those that are up and comers to stay within the industry. I've said this before. This was my 11th IFA, and I'm 35 years old. I don't think there's anybody else who's 35 who's been to 11. And that probably means something. It's positive for me that I'm sticking with this industry and I care so deeply about it. But it should be a sign that we need to get more people within the industry that have the same experience level, 11 IFAs when they're 35. And if we start embracing those up-and-comers, they're going to find great value within this community, and they'll be along for the ride. So anyway, go and read our articles on young people to watch. We have a lot of profiles this month, and we will talk to you next week. Thanks for tuning in to the Weekly Sizzle. Take care.